Hello everybody, welcome or welcome back. My name is Monique and welcome to Medora Budgets. I'd like to thank anybody who's liked or commented on any of my videos, and especially those that have chosen to subscribe to my channel. Truly started this as a way to hold myself accountable, but I understand, recognize, and appreciate the community as a whole. So if you are rocking with me on this journey, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you haven't made up your mind yet, sit with me for a spell. At the end of this video, if it is content you find valuable or enjoyable, please feel free to subscribe. It's myself and Sweets, married with a whole bunch of kids, trying to figure out our future family and finances so the decisions we're making now won't negatively impact us in the future. So we are here to do a mid-paycheck period check-in. So I got paid on September the 20th. Today is the 27th, and it's 5:07 p.m. as you saw, Eastern time. I am located in Georgia, and just a quick blurb, we made it through Hurricane Helene. We did have, it was a little dicey there with the wind, probably around 6-7 o'clock this morning. Literally, I went to the bathroom and I just looked in the toilet and had to blink like 2 times. The water was literally swaying back and forth and moving back and forth in the toilet. That's how strong the wind was, and it was causing some type of pressure that was an issue. So at the end of the day, y'all, I think I got a gnat. Where did he come from? Can y'all see that? There's a gnat somewhere. Or is it, or are those the little floaters that you see when you get older? Did y'all see a gnat, or am I seeing floaters? All right, so but we are okay, and we did not have any property damage, didn't have any trees down, did not lose any power, did not have any property damage like I mentioned before. And so, and even with that, you know, dealing with property damage or loss of property or loss of something is different than a loss of someone. So my prayers go out to everybody. It does show that I think we have 11 confirmed dead in Georgia. I'm sure that there is, unfortunately, there may be some people who passed away in Florida as well. So my prayers go out to everybody. And for any content creators that are in Georgia or Florida or Tennessee or the Carolinas, hope that you guys are safe. All right, so we are here to do that bi-weekly paycheck period breakdown. I got paid on September the 20th. Today is the 27th. It's midweek, and so we're going to walk through that. I'm also going to share with you how I was trying to track my variable expenses and the changes that I've had to make to that as well. So let's go ahead and get busy. The first thing I'm going to start with is our calendar. So Big Bertha, had to pull her back out because I haven't talked to her in a while. So you might notice here, I got paid on the 20th, tides cleared, auto cleared, mortgage cleared as well. That's where I made a payment of $365. So you know I was moving to the split bill method, made a payment on the 6th, and they registered it to pay as far as the principal is concerned, not holding it in the account in a suspended status until I paid the other $365. They were able to get that clarified. I did go ahead and make that $365 payment on Friday. On that Friday, I did check on Penny Mac, and it has cleared. And so they did do $714 for my monthly payment for the mortgage for October. Now, with that said, I did actually pay $730. I did $365 each time. So they took the other, I was about to say minus $714. How do I do that? Is that minus $714? Yeah, $16. There you go. So there was $16 that they applied to the principal for that. I don't know, like I talked about before, that I'm going to do that again. I might just hold the $365 to the side until in a separate account until I get the other $365, since I'm moved to the split bill payment method, and then pay at once. We shall see. That amount is actually going to end up changing as well because they have reduced my mortgage down to $688 from $714. I'm not happy about that because I think it's going to cause a shortage in my escrow. So I am starting an escrow sinking fund. If you didn't see my last video, I'm starting an escrow shortage sinking fund to try and help accommodate for that. On the 23rd, we did not do Lawn Love, so I scratched that out. I did go to have my oral surgery. I had to have a tooth pulled. That went well. On the 24th, I did pay City. And we were supposed to go on the 27th to review Corinne's, senior picks. I actually had rescheduled this before now because she was supposed to have a chorus event, but they ended up canceling school these 2 days because of the hurricane. So I had already scheduled, though, the senior picks until November the 3rd, I think is when I'm going to have that. That's on a Sunday. They're working on a Sunday, and that was the soonest that I could get in there. So we'll have that. Gas South has not cleared. My Apple Care, I've not seen that hit my Ally credit card as of yet either. So those are all of the updates for September, and then just be on the lookout because I have to get October set up for the monthly budget. All right, so that one is done. Now let's go to the budget and let's see what we have working, what we're working with here. I'm going to see if I can come on in a little bit so you guys can view this a little bit closer. All right, so let me get a pin on this one. All right, so I'm not going to finish out and have any totals here because we never know what's going to happen. Hence the reason why you see some pink here, because I did have some additional expenses that I did not plan for. So like I said, you're not going to see totals. We'll do that on the 3rd, on next Thursday when this budget closes out, and we're getting ready for my next paycheck that I'll receive on October the 4th. Okay, but just as a brief check-in, income came in as expected. You'll see here that we have other documented that for $100. That wasn't rollover. That was the $100 to account for this. So I had saved an extra $100 to put towards my City card debt, along with the $155 as the regular payment as well. So I was able to pay $255 out of this paycheck. But I saved that amount. It did not come from what I typically put into the bills account or variable account. So I did document that here. And you probably will see when I get ready to close out this budget, these two in pink. You know, remember, pink is a problem. So we'll talk about that in a minute. When you look at the rest of the bills, I've documented every place that money has already come out, like what I paid them. And then if I highlight it, that means that it actually came out of the account already. Like I mentioned before, I'm still waiting on Gas South to clear, but also Ring and AHS. That comes out the beginning of October, but that falls into this budget. So I am waiting for those as well. My property insurance, I thought it was going to be $169 like it was last month, but it was actually $175. I need to take a better look at this and see what's going on here. It may be a case that because I am doing a manual payment and they're not doing an auto draft, they're charging me some additional money. And if that's the case, I may set it up for some type of auto payment so I can reduce that cost a little bit more. But I did pay $175 for that one. And so that one's done. And then what you see here is Verizon. I had to pay, I did not have to. I paid off my daughter's phone. It was $200, basically $199.29 or something like that. So basically $200. I thought I had that in my Me Money account, but I must have been a little spendy. So it wasn't there. So I went ahead and pulled that from some money that I had in the buffer in that account. And so you're probably going to see this when I get ready to close out for this bi-weekly budget. I'll probably list it here as rollover under actual. I didn't plan to spend anything extra, but I did. And that's why it's in pink, because pink is a problem. That means I spent from my bills account and I wasn't supposed to, or I had not planned to. And then when I was doing my cash unstuffing, I did that offline. I needed to go ahead and get it taken care of because of what was going on with my variable expenses. And so I did not film a video for this particular group, cash unstuffing. This would have covered 9/20 through, excuse me, 9/26. And I've already taken care of all of that. The reason why I did it off camera is because I'm still waiting for this travel reimbursement to hit my account for $181.53. I did get an auto expense notification today that I should have it in the next 2 to 3 business days. But I wanted to go ahead and take care of all the rest. So since there's still outstanding money and all of it wasn't going to get paid or talked about, plus I was still trying to find that $199.92 up here for Verizon. I went ahead and did the cash unstuffing off camera, and we'll get back to recording those the next time. But I was off by $12, and I still don't know how. I think what happened is for groceries, I may have swiped my card and did not document something. I'm not sure, but I was $12 short, so I took that from my bills buffer account as well. So that's that balance adjustment that you're seeing there. Okay. Savings came out as expected. Variable expenses for the most part came out as expected. We'll talk about that in a minute. And my debt came out as expected. My auto split bill is working just fine. I just had to do a little bit of work around my mortgage. Okay. So that's the update for this part right now. And we'll go over that much more in detail when I get ready to close it out. All right. So what happened with the weekly check-in for my variable expenses? I've made this video like 3 times trying to figure out these numbers. So what I decided to do a few weeks ago was to actually have some money in cash in this black variable expense binder that I always have kept it in. And that's for groceries, gas, home, dining, meds, pets, and then my extra, right? Okay. But I would do 1 week in cash in the envelopes, 1 week online in my Ally checking account in its buckets. And I was doing that because I was trying to move towards having some money online where I could just swipe the card and not have to worry about having cash, but keep a little bit of cash on hand for instances like what happened a couple of weeks ago, where I ended up having to go out of town, and Sweets and Corinne were able to just pull from the cash envelope to use money as they needed to. So that's what I thought I was going to be able to do. And I thought that it was a smart idea, and it wasn't. It wasn't smart at all, because what happened was when I got ready to do the cash unstuffing over here, I'd written in that I used my credit card, but I needed to pull the money from my checking account for some expenses. Then there were some expenses I just swiped the checking card, just the Ally checking card, not credit card, for those expenses. Then there were some that I had as I paid for it with my Ally credit card, but I was going to pull cash for it. I did not have a set plan on where I was going to be pulling all of this money from. And so what happened is I was trying to pull cash in some instances, work with online in some instances, and move that money from checking to pay the credit card. And then in some cases, it was already swiped and taken care of because I swiped with my Ally checking card. That's a lot. Like, I don't know why I thought this was going to be a good idea, but it wasn't a good idea. So at the end of the day, as I was working through this and trying to figure it out and writing all these numbers down, you guys see I got numbers up here. I have some numbers. Where was that? On the other side of a page. Where is that? Oh, where is that? Maybe I didn't write them down. I thought I did. Oh, over here. I got some numbers over here. I just had numbers everywhere, right? Numbers here, numbers there, numbers everywhere. And I said, you know what? I'm done. So what I did, empty all the cash out of these envelopes, put the money in the bank. And I put the money in the bank so that all of it was going to be in my Ally checking account for all of my variable categories. Okay. And by doing that, I moved everything for this variable envelope online. And now I am going to have to track those expenses online. And I still need to make up whether or not I'm going to use my Ally credit card and get cashback rewards and then pull the money from those bank accounts later, or what I'm actually going to do. I'm still working through that part in my mind. But what I do know is I couldn't deal with the cash anymore. So that part has already been taken care of. One of the side effects of having your stuff online is this. You'll notice usually I would do whole dollar amounts, but now I've got to do exact amounts because when you swipe your card, it's swiping for the exact amount. So things weren't matching up either here. I was trying to round up on paper, but it's the exact amount online and the numbers were still off. So again, that was another reason why it's not going to work to have cash and to have online for the same categories in this case for variable expenses, since I'm constantly in these categories spending money. Okay, so this is what I did. I documented out everything as far as the spending was concerned. I had them all in their categories, and I came over here to my variable weekly check-in, and I wrote those amounts in here on what I spent. $136.51 in groceries, $26.02 in gas, $28.96 in home, $23.59 in dining, $14.94 in meds, and I didn't spend anything in pets. So I added up all of the cash I had between my envelopes and online, wrote that number in, documented what I spent, and then looked to see what my balance was. Here are my balance amounts here. I rolled those into week 4, which you have showing here for groceries, gas, home, dining, meds, pets. So I just took what was the balance and what was remaining in each of these categories, wrote it here in parentheses next to the category that's associated with it. I added the money that I typically add every week, and I added that online. So all of these amounts are online and added. So when you look here, and I'm pulling up my account so you can see on my Checkin, for Checkin. When you look here, groceries, I had $88.49 plus $100. So I should have $188.49. And is that, yep, there you go. I added I have $188.49. So what I did was when I emptied out my envelopes and all the cash and put the money in there, I figured out how much money I needed to add. So here I said I need to have $188.49 in there. I wasn't short, so that one worked out well. Okay, so that one worked out well. The next one, gas, I had $53.98 that was left over. I added $20 to it. So that means that I needed to have $73.98 in there. I was actually short $23.98 online because I had that money in cash. I basically had about $25 in cash. Now that I went ahead and deposited the money, after I deposited the money, I went ahead and moved over $23.98 into that category so that now I have the full $73.98 showing. That's what you see here, gas, $73.98. I'll do just one more for you. I had $50 in home. I added $30 to it. I added another $30 that I had online. I subtracted what I spent, $28.96. That left me with $81.04. I moved the $81.04 down here. I added another $30 to it. That would mean $111.04. When I looked at how much I had online for gas, I'm sorry, that's for home. For home, I needed to add another $51.04. So I had basically, in essence, $50 in cash, and that's where that 50 was. Remember, $50 that I had in cash here. I took that cash, put it in the bank, and then I loaded that cash onto my Ally account in the correct bucket. And so now for home, I have $111.04. So I went through that. Basically, I took these amounts for the most part, and I put them in the bank. And then now they are in its correct bucket online. I know that was a lot, but after a while of doing this, I started to figure out that's what my problem was. I had cash in one place, online for another, and it started to get too confusing. So we are good now. All of the amounts, when you add this and this together, those are the amounts that you see here online, okay? For all of my buckets, eating out, gas, groceries, household supplies, meds or supplements, and then pets. Now, what I can do instead of, and I might go into a bucket. Let me see if it'll show me. Yeah. All right. So what happens is if I go out to eat, say for example, so I'm eating out, I have a bucket balance of $77.41. If I went in and added all of the businesses that I eat out at, they're here listed already. If I swipe my card for any of those, so for example, swipe my card for Chipotle. Chipotle is already listed here in my group. So when I swipe my card, it will automatically deduct that money from the $77.45 that I have in eating out. So I do like that about Ally, that you can actually set up business names associated with each of the buckets. That way when you swipe, it's already coming out of that account overall. So there you go. That is what I've done for my variable expenses. So you will not see me stuff this any longer. You will just see me documenting the transactions down and kind of talking through what I spent. And then for the savings or the extra binder that I had, I've got that listed here. And I see now that I did not finish that number off for my numbers. I did add some ones here because I had some ones available from my Me Money account that I did add in here. So I started with 54, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, $59. So I'm going to go over here. And I just moved this to my personal envelope. So I've got that now. So I have $59 here. And I didn't spend anything, but I do have a +5 added to it. I did not budget anything for it. I added 5. Now I'm at 59. So let's write $59 here. That will continue to be in cash. I don't know what I want to do with this. I don't know if I'm gonna, at the end of the year, maybe I'll just keep adding ones to it. I'll just keep adding money to it. And then at the end of the year, maybe that is, I don't know. Will I put it towards debt? Maybe I put it towards debt. Maybe I'll put it towards Little Bean. One or the other. I'm not sure. Okay. But that's where that extra savings is. It's now in my personal spend binder. Or maybe I keep it in the personal spend binder because I need money. Okay. That is it. I hope that this was helpful in just seeing what I had to change up. It does give you a good idea if you're considering having an Ally checking account, what you're able to do with that. Like I mentioned before, you can put the money in the buckets that you have. You can also, for each bucket, go ahead and assign specific companies. They actually have them all like saved in to their database. So you have those available and select those. And that way, every time you swipe your debit card for that expense, if that whatever business name that is associated with that category, that's how they will take that money out. If there is a business that is not in the database and you can't find that business, it's okay. When you swipe and they post the actual amount, you will be able to move it then to the appropriate category to have that money taken out. And the other thing I would say, and then I'm going to wrap this call up, is you cannot have a business in more than one category. So Walmart for me has to be in the home category, not in the food category. But if I want to move an expense over from home to food that I did at Walmart, I can't do that manually myself. Okay. All right. Now that's really it. Okay. Thanks everybody for your time. You guys have a good one.